with an acknowledgement. We would like to, we, the Fidalgo Democrats, acknowledge that we gather on indigenous land, the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Samish and Swinomish people, and pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. Before we start, I'm going to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones and your watches. Our Lieutenant Governor is here, but I think we're going to start with a couple of other things first before we get into the main part of the meeting. We have a lot of candidates here, people who are looking to get elected and who are elected as well. A lot of the people that we've invited now have opponents, and so the voting becomes much more important to vote for them. It's not a shoo-in for sure. And so we'd like them to take turns in just at least introducing themselves and what position they're running. I really recommend everybody start looking up the candidates, what their endorsements are, what their positions are, and start telling friends that these are the people that you're voting for and why. Because a lot of times people just don't know, don't pay that much attention. So please spread the word and really educate yourself. Their websites are great. So anyway, I'm going to just ask them to stand up one at a time, and we can start with Melissa, if you want to come up here. And
sure, I love a microphone.
yes, we'd like people to use it so we can hear.
Hi everyone, it's so thoughtful of you to come out tonight just to meet me. I am your Skagit County Clerk, and I am running for re-election, and I do have an opponent, and so I'm going to be here either next month or the month after, and I hope you all can come back to learn a little more about the County Clerk's office.
Hello, I'm Chris Baldwin, and I'm running for Skagit County Sheriff. Just a little bit myself, I have 32 years of experience at the Sheriff's Office, all there, and again, just recently recommended by the Democratic Party to be your next sheriff. So I hope that I can come out and vote for Melissa. Please go to my website. There's a lot of good information there, chrisbaldwinforsheriff.com. And if anybody wants to have a meeting or meet and greet, I would love to do that. Thank you very much.
Great.
Denny Hagan, Skagit County Assessor. Luckily, I do not have a write-in this year, but I would like to encourage everyone to vote for Melissa and Chris. They already do amazing work for Skagit County. And also, the senior exemption threshold for property taxes is going up for 2027 with an additional standard deduction that makes the process a lot easier. If you have not made it into the program before, please try again. There's a new tool on the Skagit County Assessor's website you can go to. Kind of they'll walk you through the application, see if you are eligible, and if you are, it'll tell you the documents you need to provide to the office to get into the program. So just wanted everyone to know about that.
Ryan, would you like to come up and introduce yourself? Why
Was not planning on that, but my name is Ryan Walters. I'm the mayor of Anacortes. I really want to give a shout out to Danny for that new tool on the assessor's website. to let you know if you are eligible or if you're likely eligible for the property tax exemption. If you're interested in knowing how property tax works, we have some new articles on the city's website. If you go to anacorteslaw.gov and click on finance, you can learn about how property tax works, how much your property tax is that you're paying to the city of Anacortes. Not very much compared to your total bill. And some of the challenges that the city faces going forward. You know, we had quite a budget gap last year. It's going to be bigger this year. So, you know, we're going to have to take some hard choices to solve that gap. We'll need your support as we move through that process. So please engage. Thank you.
Are there any other candidates here that I have not recognized, or any other celebrities like Ryan here that are already elected? We have Liz Lovely.
Thank you, Barbara. How is everybody doing tonight? Are we so excited that our Lieutenant Governor is joining us to talk about the state of civility in Washington State, the great work that he is doing for civic engagement for young people, the incredible work he is leading on housing in Washington State. It's so great to be able to lead out with Danny talking about the newly expanded senior property tax exemption that the legislature just passed in 2026, because we were hearing loud and clear from people that they were really struggling to stay in their homes, and we want to help fix that. But this is a team sport, so it takes everybody from all of these incredible folks that are running for these Skagit County positions, to my position in the legislature, all the way up to the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor to make all of this work. So the reason why I have the honor of introducing Denny Heck is because many of you know he is the President of the Senate. So all of the activities that we do in the Senate are presided over by LG Heck. And I have to say, what an honor it is to work alongside such an incredible statesman. We are so fortunate to have his steady hand at the tiller, even when we're having really complex floor debates about really big issues that impact people's lives, when emotions run high, when we are feeling really spun up about a particular issue. And I'll give an example. When we were working on the assault weapon ban for the future of our kids in Washington State, having someone like Denny presiding over those proceedings was so helpful, and is exactly the temperament that we need to encourage the civility that frankly we're not seeing at the federal level. And so it's my deep honor to have my partner in service here today, our housing champion, our civics leader, Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck.
Hey, how about giving it up for Senator Loveland?
Yeah.
I've probably made the mistake way too many times to forget to acknowledge the most important person in my life who came with me tonight, my girlfriend. Well, that's not true. We're actually married. We're newlyweds. 50 years in April. Washington State Second Lady Paula Heck. She's the one with the tough job. She's a retired middle school principal. They booed you, Paula. They booed you. They all remember their middle school experience.
We oohed her.
I was honored to be invited up. Thank you. Shay is the one who invited me up. She was an outstanding legislator, as a matter of fact, just as Liz Lovett is an outstanding legislator on your behalf. Then again, I am Lieutenant Governor. I'm kind of honored to be invited anywhere. So thank you for that. No, seriously, it's not the highest profile job. It really isn't. And in fact, in a lot of ways, it's not terribly important. In some ways it is, but in many ways it's not. There are 9 statewide elected officials. lieutenant governor is far and away the lowest paid, and deservedly so. All the others have large departments and a couple hundred employees and that kind of thing. We have 5 employees in our office. So it's pretty low profile. I have receipts. How many of you been in the state capitol? How many of you been in the office of lieutenant governor? Okay, 3 of you. 4 or 5. So it's this big cavernous office, and there are floor-to-ceiling windows, and they have this little handle where you open them. And this happened a couple of months ago. Every word I'm about to say is true, I swear. And it somehow got stuck open. And the wind was up that day, which is rare in Olympia, kept banging against the furniture in front of it. I tried for like 30 minutes to get it closed, and I could not. I just could not. And so we called the Department of Enterprise Services. They're the people who maintain the state capitol building. And Sean, the maintenance guy, came in. 30 seconds later, it's fixed. And we were walking across our office, and he put his hand on my forearm, and he said, what was your name again? And I said, well, it's Denny Heck, Sean. Thanks very much for fixing the window. And he went, right, Attorney General. It's not just, though, because I'm Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Liz, for not mentioning that I also, nobody hold this against me, served many years in the United States Congress. Thank you for not mentioning that. This happened to me while I was there, too. I might begin to take this personally. This is also a true story. I commuted to D.C. back to Olympia every week on account of she who must be obeyed did not go to D.C. She's the most important thing in the universe to me. And I got on the plane one morning, 7D, aisle seat, small bladder. And this woman sat down next to me in the middle seat. We're early toward the front of the plane. And she didn't say anything, and she didn't even have eye contact with me. Now, the only 2 things you need to know about this story are, number 1, Paul and I live in Olympia. And number 2, I served all those years with Dave Reichert. Now, you remember Dave, he ran for governor. You probably also remember he's got this mane of silver hair. He's the county sheriff who apprehended the Green River Killer. They've written books about him and made movies about him. Kind of a celebrity. So I'm sitting there in 7D. This woman's not looking at me. It's fine. I'm about to put my headphones on and read. And no words, and people are coming on. And all of a sudden, we haven't even acknowledged one another. She takes both hands and goes, grabs my right arm and goes, oh, look, there's Dave Reichert. And I said, oh, do you live in Congressman Reichert's district? She says, no, I live in Olympia. I think this is my opportunity. So I turned to her, and unfortunately, pride proceeded to fall. I kind of puffed up a little bit, and I go, well, his name is Denny Heck. She said, no, that's not it. So this didn't start happening to me when I became lieutenant governor. I hope that most of our evening together is spent with dialogue, question and answer. But I want to level set because I've been amazed. I've had the privilege, an unbelievable privilege, to serve in several capacities, can't keep a job, over a long period of time. I was elected to the State House of Representatives. Anybody have a guess what year? 1990 what? 1984. Any other guesses? 1976. 2 very wonderful things happened to me in 1976. And I was chief of staff to one of the great governors in Washington State history, Governor Booth Gardner. For those of you who remember him. And then I served in Congress. And then I have this great privilege, and thank you all for the opportunity to serve our state in this way. But I find there are more misconceptions about being lieutenant governor than I imagined. And most people carry around in their heads, I'm sure not you because you're politically aware and involved, but most people carry around in their heads two myths about being lieutenant governor. The first is that you're the deputy governor. No. In our state, as you know, they're elected separately. Lieutenant governor is not a part of the executive branch, does not work for the lieutenant governor, and in fact, in almost every way, is really much more a part of the legislative branch. That's not true in every state, but it's true here. The second myth they carry around in their head is that they think the lieutenant governor is the 50th state senator. Now, I know they think that because people come up to me all the time and they go, will you introduce a bill to do thus and such? Yeah, no. There are only people that can do that in our state, according to our Constitution, are state legislators. I'm not one. They're the bosses. Or they say, will you vote for or against House Bill 2000 or whatever it is? And I say, yeah, no. The only time I vote is if there's a tie. Anybody guess why that doesn't happen very often? Well, to begin with, there are 49 members of the Senate. Divided by 2 is not a tieable number. And so in 6 years, of course, there could be 1, 3, 5, 7 members absent. So in 6 years, guess how many times I've voted to break a tie? Once. Once. Stunned some of my fellow Democrats deeply because they voted with the Republicans. My party was wrong. And so I'm not the 50th state senator. That's what it's not. It's not deputy governor. It's not a state legislator, 50th state legislator, 50th state senator. So the question really is, what is it? What is this job? Well, first of all, it's an unbelievably, really cheap insurance policy in case the governor gets hit by a bus. Because according to our Constitution, the lieutenant governor becomes the governor. In fact, anytime the governor leaves airspace of Washington State, the lieutenant governor is acting lieutenant governor. Let me be the first to assure you that's a whole lot more impressive sounding than it actually is in practice. And number 2, that which I consider to be the most important, is to serve as president of the state senate, presiding officer. You can think about that way down here low on the continuum of all you're doing is calling on the next person to speak. True enough. But it includes other stuff, like knowing the rules and enforcing the rules. And way up here, that which I care the most about is setting a tone of respectful discourse. So that what they do on the floor of the state senate, and they do it very well, I am proud to be associated with the body, is keep their arguments to the merits for and against legislation. I think that's the most important part of the job. And then number 3, and you all look like you've worked a year or 2 in your lives, that favorite line at the bottom of the job description, other duties. You can almost all do it in unison. I love this crowd. Yes, other duties is assigned, and I have 1,000 of them. Bizarrely, I chair the Senate Rules Committee, which is the committee that decides which bills are placed on the floor for consideration. In that capacity, I can vote. I most often don't. It's pretty pro forma, frankly. And I'm on 9,230 boards and commissions, because every time Senator Loveland is voting on a bill to create a new board or task force and they don't think it has quite enough members, they stick the lieutenant governor. That's right. So there's all of that. Mostly what it does that I savor and relish, and Liz has alluded to some of this, is it's kind of like the first lady, or someday the first gentleman, but the first lady who decides what issues they're going to emphasize, and then hold up and throw a spotlight on, and bring to the attention of people, and seek to mobilize people on behalf. Now, I exercise that incredible privilege of my office, I hope judiciously, because it's the rule of three. If I were involved in 4 or 5 or 6 of them, I think I'd be spread pretty thin. So I have 3 that I care deeply about. First, and this has to do, frankly, because of statutory assignment I have as well, I am the chief liaison to the diplomatic corps for Washington State, stationed here. And I do a lot of international work, both on the trade side, but on the diplomacy side. And in particular, I've worked very hard to forge a deeper relationship between our state legislature and the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. Because here's my message. Washingtonians love Canadians, and we love Canada. And they need to hear that from us, because they're not feeling that way, and we need to make sure they understand. We are, well, how many of you have been up to Blaine? Children of a common mother, is what it says on the outside. They are our largest trading partner. The sons and daughters of Canada have fought alongside the sons and daughters of America in every war for well over 100 years. But it's not just trade, it's not just security alliance. There's shared values and a belief in self-government. So we do that work. In fact, with Senator Lovett's help and others, we passed a bill a couple of years ago to create the first ever parliamentary exchange with the Legislative Assembly of Canada. We had our inaugural meeting this spring, and it went spectacularly well. 2, as Senator Lovett had alluded to, I'm a fierce advocate for increased housing. The average age of a first-time home builder in this nation in the last several years has risen from 28 to 40, and it's no secret why that is the case. Paula and I bought our first, oh, hi, I guess you're filming this.